Hey guys, welcome back to my studio. So I'm down here and I'm going to be putting together a little process video for you. So I'm going to be making an adult size hoodie. I'm going to be highlighting a few of the steps for you, and it's really just a behind the scenes look at what it takes to put one of these things together. So yeah, I just thought maybe it would be kind of fun so that when you guys get your item in the mail, when you get your hoodie in the mail, you can kind of look at it and be like, oh, I saw that video. I actually have seen how this item was made. So I hope you enjoy it, and thank you very much for taking the time to watch. So right now I have a body piece. That's this piece here with the pleat with the two sleeves attached to it already. And I am going to take the front piece from over here and I'm going to attach it to all of this. So the machine is going to be quite loud, but I will pause in between and talk about steps and stuff. So yeah, have fun. Maybe turn the volume off or down while the machine's going. I guess I'm not sure how much the microphone will pick up, but for me, the machine is quite loud. Yes, here we go. So I'm taking the front piece, and that's the sleeve. That's one of the sleeves there, and I'm attaching them. And I'm going to serge them together. So I'm sewing all the way down the arm. I'm about to get to the armpit, and that's when I have to really make sure that these two little creases line up and that I completely sew over it so that there's no gap. That's like, it's a really tricky part. So I know we're not super close to what I'm doing, but down here is the little crease. So I just kind of take a pause, I make sure that the two lines are completely lined up, and then I kind of aim it a little deeper so the little knife on the serger will cut a little further in to make sure that I get that whole part of the armpit where the two well really it's three pieces of fabric here that are connecting. And that's that, got that, and now I just do a straight line all the way down to the base of the sweatshirt. Here we go. Alright, so that's, if you can see that, that's one arm of the sweatshirt and base of it is done. So now I'm going on to the other one, same thing. I go down here to the end and I meet the ends and I line it up. I line it all the way to the armpit. That's the easiest for me, as I find, I connect those creases together, kind of line it up a little bit, get down here. I'm not teaching a class. I'm just showing you the process of how I make the sweatshirts. I thought maybe you guys would enjoy that. So yeah, thanks for watching if you're watching this far. I'm going to continue down the arm. I just took a second to line it up again. Alright, so now I'm at that armpit again. So I'm pausing. I'm making sure that those two lines are lined up. I pull these little extra threads out so that the knife will trim them off nicely for me. I'm aiming it a little deeper. And got that covered. Now I'm going to line up the bottom so I can do the straight line all the way to the base of the sweatshirt. So here we go. Sometimes it's a little bit like, I want to make sure it's really nice for you guys. I don't want anything like wonky, so I I have to take this extra time to line it up. But it's still much less time than it would take me to pin it, so. All right, I love my serger. So there it is, look at that. So now we have the body and the arms. So we were working on that birds and butterfly hoodie, but I ended up finishing it and having to move on to something else. So now that we're back to making this video, I now have it's a dinosaur one. So this is a dinosaur adult size women's hoodie. And we're going to be putting the hood in here. So we've done the arms, we've done the body, we've attached all that together, and now the next step that I usually do is the hood. So here's the hood, and what I have to make sure and do is kind of marry the two sides. We call this the right side of the fabric. So this is the side of the fabric that when you turn the article inside out, it's what will be facing out. It's what people will see. So I'm putting the two right sides of the fabric together is basically how I have to put this in here. So this is going to be on the outside, so this goes in here facing the other part of the hoodie that will be on the outside. So I talked to you guys about how I don't really use pins, but there are a couple situations where I do, and this is one of them. So this hoodie has 3 little seams to match up here. And because it's a circle and not much of, I mean, it is straight, but it is a circle, so there is the issue of slipping, sliding, this fabric stretches, so you have to be a little bit more careful. So I do 2 pins here. I do them both on the front seams, just to line them up so that as I'm sewing, I'm not tugging it out of place. You know, and then by the time I sew my way around to where else they meet, they're not lined up. So I line them up beforehand just to make sure that the seams are matching. So I do the first 2, and then what I do is I find the third one, line it all up. And this one on the women's hoodies is really easy because the women's hoodie has the pleat. So there is a seam here that I can work with. On the men's hoodie, I have to more kind of eyeball and make sure I have it right in the middle and put the seam right in the middle. And I always start with it so that I make sure I get it in the right spot. So here I am, I'm gonna start with the middle of this one as well. And because it's the women's, like I said, it's really easy. I can just line the seam of the pleat with the other seams from the hood. So then I start here, and I'm just going to sew around. And I'm going to start with where the pleat is because I have to hold it down to make sure that it's going to sew well. Pull all my little threads out, make sure they get trimmed nicely by the knife. It's a lot of fabric for it to cut through. It's like 4 layers of fabric. The knife doesn't like it very much. But we do what we gotta do. So again, I just go slow to make sure I keep everything lined up. It's tricky because the hood has 2 pieces of fabric, and then, you know, the hoodie itself, the hoodie itself, so the actual body, is another layer. So it's 3 layers I have to make sure are lined up all the way around, which is completely possible. It just takes, you know, a little time. And practice. Practice is a big part of it. I think I forget what it's like to use a machine when you don't know how to use it. But it's like driving a car. You learn the speed, you learn how far to push the pedal. You learn how to track the fabric. You learn how to read how fast it will pull it.